you're going to be representing the pawn shop on Elm Street. At the pawn shop, there's two things that happen. There's possession cards and desperate measure cards. We're going to talk about the possession cards first. The resources that you're going to need for this part are cash. And actually that's real cash, but during the game you'll have play money in increments of $100. So the students were each given 2 possession cards at the beginning of the game. They can bring those in at any time that they need some cash. So what the possession cards are is they are, as you can see, they're different heirlooms that they have received over the years, inherited from family members. So it gives what the item is, it tells what it's worth, and then it shows below that what you can get at the pawn shop if you bring that in for quick cash. Well, obviously there's a big difference between what it's worth and what they can get at the pawn shop, but if you're desperate, they're going to probably want to take that choice. So you want to remind the students that if they come in to cash that in, that this is these are cherished family heirlooms, and they might not be able to get them back if they go that direction. So just have them think about that, and if they really, really want to get rid of them. So if they do, then what you'll do is you'll take the possession card from them, you'll pay the student in cash on the spot, and send them on their way. The desperate measure cards are right here. And there's 2 different kinds of desperate measure cards. And you're going to actually have a stack of them. They'll be turned upside down, and the student will pick them from the top unknowingly what is underneath of it. So the desperate measure cards are when a student is so desperate that they don't really know what else to do. This is a good place that they can come and ask you for financial help. So the way that it works is that the desperate measure cards have different things that can offer some kind of help. So for instance, this one, it directs them to go to the church, and when they go to the church, they're going to actually pay them $300 on the spot, and that's supposed to go for their required utility expenses. However, they can use it however they want. This card says to go to the community center because they are passing out large baskets of food for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So they actually will go there, and what they'll do is the community center will direct them to take this card with them when they go pay for their food, and that will fulfill that whole month's worth of food that they're in that moment. So here's another going to the community center, and this is another going to the church card. So those are good things, and they're paid right on the spot, or they take it with them to wherever they're going to be needing that. The other kind of desperate measure card is not so good, and this is the risk that they take, but they don't really know this when they come to you at the time, because not everybody is going to be looking out for their best interest when they're looking for help, and this is part of the lesson that they're learning. Okay, so these cards actually have some ideas on how they can get some money, but they're not necessarily good ways. So for instance, this one is they're suggesting that you shoplift. So they're giving you the opportunity to do these things, and if you want to choose it, great. If you don't, great. The pawn shop doesn't really care, but there are people that might care. So what happens is if they choose walk away without the items, it is wrong to shoplift, then they get no money, but they walk away with a clear conscience. If they take the item, you really need the money for your kids, then they get paid $600 on the spot. Now, that's all fine and good, but as we know, not all crimes go unpunished. So if you actually have that opportunity, you can report that if you'd like to the police, or you can just let them go. It's your choice. You can, if there's a lot of kids that come for that, you can report some of them and not report others, or you can report all of them. It's your choice. So basically, they're going to need to make a choice between illegal and legal. So we'll see how they do on that. You also are going to be representing the police station on Elm Street. So it's very handy because if you need to report anyone, you actually are also the policeman. So if the student does pick an illegal activity, like I said, you can let some of them get away with it, or you can arrest all of them. So for those that are arrested, you will publicly and dramatically announce that they were caught committing the crime, and you're going to announce that to the whole room. For example, you might say, Jimmy Adams was so desperate for money to feed his 3 starving children that he resorted to stealing from his neighbor. So that's just to kind of raise the awareness of what the desperate measures are being taken by people who have no other way to get what they need with their needs and with all the needs of their children. Students that are caught committing a crime will also lose their job for the rest of the game, and so you'll want to inform the employment agency at that time. Also, students must pay back any money stolen and also perform some community service for the remainder of that month. And so what they're going to do is we've got a broom or a dust rag, and they can either go around and dust tables, or they can sweep, or whatever is applicable to your space. So that's it for the pawn shop and the police station. Thank you.